That's what I wanted. I'm such a dork. No, who's messaging me? Why? No. It's Tay. Don't tell him I'm working on a special project. Don't tell him. It's live. No, I'm not really live. I just feel like I'm live because this is the profile I usually use for live. So, my goodness. I actually had energy for a shower today, and I washed my hair. It's way too long. I can't afford to cut it, and I can't do it myself because broken arms. Mom semi-dried it for me, so I'm gonna finish it off with this thing while I talk to you guys. And I just realized you probably can't hear me. Right, just give me a.
What is life? Okay, now you can hear me, right? Right. All right. So, what I was saying was, I barely had energy to, what's it called? I never have energy for anything. For those of you that don't know, I suffer from depression, anxiety, and trauma. I have a official diagnosis now, which is weird, but I'll get into that later. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I actually had energy to shower today after a week of barely working. So my hair, I washed my hair. It's way too long. I can't afford it. And whatever. I said this earlier. I might be able to edit it, make it smoother, but you couldn't hear me. So so there's that. Let me make this camera look nicer. I'll deal with it. It's whatever. Wait, no, I won't. You know, all right. All right. Anyway, what I was saying earlier is I'm gonna finish it off with this. And this always messes up my hand, but I'm gonna try to do a video interview later. So basically, what I wanted to do is talk to you guys, because this whole, hold on, I've got a mirror here just so I don't burn my head. I started this vlog a long time ago, 5 years ago to be exact. So I could talk about my journey as a musician, trying to make it as a musician, I guess, is what some people would say, or whatever. Really, I just wanted to, you know, show what it's like to start from nothing, from absolutely nothing, like recording with a crappy phone as your only camera and only audio, to slowly, you know, upgrading your equipment and whatnot, and still being able to share what you make, because it's still worth it. Whether you have crappy quality or not, what you make still matters. Even if you're not the most skilled musician or artist, what you make still matters. That's what I believed in as an educator, as a person, as an artist myself. You know, children share their art to their parents, and, you know, as a parent, you celebrate it. Well, if you're a good parent, you celebrate it no matter where they're at. You know, you put it on their fridge, you're proud of it. Why? Because you know that a typical 5-year-old isn't going to give you like a Monet painting. you know? They're going to give you what a 5-year-old is capable of. And if you start your musical journey in your late 20s and your music education stopped when you were 12, then you shouldn't expect the musical education of someone who's studied for 20 years. You should expect the level of musical education for a 12-year-old, even if you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. No matter where you're at, you gotta start somewhere. That's what I believed in as an educator. And that's what I believed in to start my channel, to start my vlog. And I wanted to share with you guys that journey of growth, you know, learning how to edit, slowly getting better equipment and learning about my equipment. And when I first started, I had a job at a credit union. I was a records clerk. And when I first started my channel, I assumed that friends and family would be watching, so they would know this kind of stuff about me already. So my first couple of episodes, I didn't really talk about it because I thought the people who would be watching what I was sharing would know that about me. So it felt kind of redundant. And then, you know, I wasn't thinking that, you know, strangers on the internet would be watching me or anything. I can't see you guys. Okay, I wasn't thinking, you know, people that I don't know on the internet, whatever. I'll keep track of it somehow. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that people that didn't know me for whatever odd amount of years, 33 years of my life, or whatever, 37. How old was I? 32. You know, I wasn't thinking that people that, you know, like my mom and my dad at that time would know about my life and where I was working, you know, my sibling, why I became an educator. You know, I was like, they know this. To be honest, I think only my mom knew why I became an educator, because she was there with me through that decision and everything. My sibling assumed that I was just trying to be lazy and trying to find an easy major. And they were like, you know, it's hard work, right? It's not just a cookie cutter kind of thing. And just basically insulted my intelligence. So that was triggering at the time. But anyway, I knew what I was getting into when I wanted to become an educator, for the most part, because I knew enough about the world and what kids go through, especially kids who suffer poverty in the inner city, which is where I wanted to work. I knew enough to know it was never going to be easy if I wanted to be a teacher. And if I wanted to be someone who changed the lives of people who struggle. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But it didn't matter, because what I wanted to do mattered more to me. So anyway, I started my vlog after probably 5 years of being out of the music school and not being able to go back. Yeah, because I had to quit music school in 2010. So I had to quit because of money. And Mom and I were struggling to survive. And part of this, I think this part of the story is on my Monday Mingle podcast. Which, P.S., for anyone who only has been watching the vlogs and nothing else, I started a podcast on my Twitch channel and stuff. And my coworker Megan, ex-coworker Megan, is a co-host with me on there. And it's been really rewarding so far. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I talk about this a little bit on there. I think most of the episodes that I've been on by myself. But yeah, I have been struggling with poverty for a long time. Right now, I'm good for now. More on that later. But, you know, 2009, I lost the job I had at the music school because of budget cuts. And for a long time, I was taking extra credits in school to keep that job. Even credits that weren't towards my major, because in the summer at my university, you couldn't really take music education classes, and I don't have a license, so I didn't have a way to drive myself to a different campus to do ed classes, because that was the only option, was to take ed classes at a different, like, community college instead of, like, my actual college. So that option that a lot of other music ed majors were doing, I didn't have. So just to keep that job at the little office in my music school, that was like the perfect job, and it was well paid at the time, for a part-time student who had a parent who worked full-time. No, actually mom was part-time then. But anyway, it was like I had a part-time income, mom had a part-time income, and together we did a full-time income. So together we were making it all right for the most part, for my first couple of years at the music school. But anyway, 2009, I lost that job because they cut budgets and stuff, and more on why the credits are important later. But yeah, I couldn't keep doing that job, so then mom was also, her part-time hours of like 30 hours a week, 30 to 36 hours a week, got cut even more to like 20 hours a week, and then she was no longer officially full-time. She was then officially part-time worker. So part of her, I think her benefits started changing and stuff. I don't remember that part that well. But anyway, yeah, the point of that was I've been struggling with poverty since then. And then I couldn't finish music school, music education, because the state had passed a law in 2008 that you weren't allowed to continue having grants, government grants and stuff after a certain amount of credit hours, and my advisor didn't tell me about that in 2008. I found out when I got a letter from the government saying, you can't keep going to school. And that was fall 2009. And I did an appeal, and I told them, this is how much I have left, blah, 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 blah. But it was from 2006 to 2009 that I had all these fluffy extra credit hours in the summertime just to keep my job so I could keep my house and stuff. So that's why that was all important. Anyway, More on that later. I promise this all ties together. I promise you. But I started my channel 5 years after all that happened, and I was working at a credit union after my mom got completely laid off in 2013. Well, hold on, I skipped a part. So I got that job December 2012. I'd been bouncing around like part-time jobs since I lost my job in 2009. And had my first panic attack in 2009 at a pharmacy that I worked at. Because I was under a lot of stress. And I was scared that my family was going to starve if I didn't work hard enough, because I assume I'm lazy, because my father always called me lazy, and even my sibling assumed I was lazy. So that's why I wanted to be a music major, because I was lazy. Anyway. It's not because I love music and I have loved music my entire life. No, it's because I'm lazy. Anyway, that message was already lingering in my head since childhood, and it was fairly recent since my sibling was a jerk. So that made me feel awful when I was struggling to stay in music school, and a teacher told me that I was never going to be a good teacher. I told her I was having anxiety and couldn't eat. I didn't have enough money for food. I ate out of vending machines. I ate crappy snack foods while I was at work at the pharmacy job. I had concentration issues. I had memory issues. I had such bad anxiety that in my voice lessons, when I tried to perform my music for my recital, it was as if I'd never seen the music in my entire life, never heard it, never knew it, even though before I stepped into those lessons, I had it memorized, every last word in every single language. Maybe 1 or 2 notes were off, but usually with the piano, and everything else, it would kind of just click, that muscle memory would kick in at the right time when I was practicing and whatnot. I could never play piano well enough to clunk out the notes and learn it on my own, so I used this program called Finale to kind of do that for me, because I couldn't afford to practice with a pianist. And the piano person that I had to pay to be in there for me for my lessons, because that was a change they made all of a sudden, she told me that my mother was abusive because she was forcing me to work and not taking care of me. And the mom was doing what she could. Everything she could. Just to make ends meet. Mom never forced me to work. I wanted to. Because it felt like that's my job. I was an adult. I should be working. Anyway. Yeah. So fast forward to 2012 again, when December 2012 I got that job at the credit union after being out of school for whatever amount of time, and I thought, now I can save money, which was the plan. I can save money and go back to school, finish my degree, start teaching, start changing lives, start saving people who need life, who need love, who need compassion. That's what I'm good at. Good at caring about people. I'm good at seeing what they're struggling with. I'm good at seeing their gifts. I'm good at knowing what they're not saying. So I wanted to be a teacher. And I thought I can save money now, blah blah, etc. Fast forward May or April, I don't remember. It was around this time of year. 2013. One part-time income, one full-time income turned into no part-time income, one full-time income. We had just barely gotten on our feet where we were paying everything and finally able to do groceries again, finally able to do fun stuff again. We had just gotten there April 2013. Finally got there. Mom got laid off completely. They closed the department that she worked in at the little hotel she was at. My mom's a very gifted seamstress. They closed that. So it was just me. I was the sole breadwinner. I was suddenly head of household. And once again, the music teacher plan got put on hold. And I thought to myself, that's okay. I can, keep working until Mom finds other work. It's okay. We can deal with it. It's gonna be fine. I'll be okay. That's what I thought. Everything's gonna be okay. Sorry, I need to stretch a moment because this always hurts my fingers and my arms. But yeah, I thought we'll be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. Mom struggled to find other work. The sewing industry had basically been outsourced to other countries mostly at this point. So 13 years before that, there were still sewing jobs here and there at factories and whatnot that kind of destroyed Mom's back and whatnot when she tried to do those. So I thought she can at least get part-time somewhere, we'll be okay again, and I can still save money and finish school, pay off my loans. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. People started treating Mom like crap when she did find work. We tried to have Mom work from home and just do stuff, alterations and stuff for people. People started stealing stuff when they would come in, like all of her tools and whatnot. They're gone, missing. So I no longer felt safe with people coming into our house. And these weren't strangers, these were people we knew from a church we used to go to. And for a long time, until we moved here, I thought maybe she just misplaced it. But no, sure enough, all that stuff is gone. I had never found it even when we moved here. And we had to leave a lot of stuff, but her sewing stuff was always organized. She knew where it was for the most part, so Yeah, I never found any of that stuff anywhere. That was a little room I used to stream in, actually, or a little sewing room. That had soon become a mess of fabric piles and everything. This is hard to do with stuff in the way. Sorry. I know I missed a spot for all of these OCD people like me who were keeping track. I know I missed a spot, okay? There's a big part of the back of my head that I didn't do. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'll get to it somehow, eventually. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, breadwinner. Mom couldn't find other jobs. I saw it making her more and more depressed, trying to fight racist people who treated her like she was stupid. Like, there were people who would, you know, she spoke English really well, except for with a thick accent back then. People assumed that she didn't know any English at all, and it was disheartening to see her, and I thought, I'll just make ends meet until whenever. She needs to rest. She still, you know, she still looked for work for a while and couldn't find anything, and you know, her knees are destroyed now, so she can't stand for a long amount of time. I didn't really want to degrade her, but that type of work that was had already screwed up my back and my knees, more than they were already screwed up. And you know, she was 50-something years old, so why force her to, you know, struggle? She didn't need to. I could just put up with it. So, I kept working at the credit union place, and then eventually Mom was hit 65. She was able to get retirement. I think we applied for early retirement at some point. Anyway, Mom, we have her retirement income now, her Social Security income to help. And I was still thinking I could go back to school someday. And then I started this channel after my old job had hurt my shoulders. I was a records clerk, right? So I had to get huge piles of papers that were probably double this thick, like probably about, like, no, not even double. They were like this big. Big piles of paper. And say this is a pile of paper, because I'm not going to do it with real paper because it's going to hurt my back. But I would grab it from one spot after I'd sorted it all out from several piles of paper that high. But anyway, I'd sorted it all into smaller piles in different categories or whatnot. And I would grab them, put them into this machine, let the machine do its thing, grab them out the machine, put it on the little cart so that we could give it to this other lady who looked at everything I scanned into the system. I do this over and over and over and over again. That's tiring. Sorry. So then I developed tendonitis in both my shoulders, and this tendonitis kind of screws up my scoliosis, which is right in the middle of my back, like between my what are those? No, this is scapula. No, this is clavicle. It's between my scapulas, my back. This tendon had swollen so much that my clavicle had disconnected from my scapula. Like here. So it had swollen to where it was just disconnected. So I had crippling pain. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't roll over in bed because I didn't have strength from my arms to push myself out of bed. Or even sit up because my back was that much more in pain. I hurt my back just showing you guys. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. So that happened like July-ish, 2015, that this tendon was like swollen and muscle or bones were coming off of each other and stuff. And they put me on rest for like a month and it didn't improve. They wanted me to do physical therapy. The orthopedist or whatever wanted me to do physical therapy. It was twice a week. And I think it was like, well, it was $35 to see the physical therapist, which I couldn't afford. Or sorry, not the physical. It's $35 to see the orthopedist, which I couldn't afford. And it was $25 for each session of physical therapy twice a week. $50. I couldn't afford that either. But they wanted me to see them twice a week, every single week. I never saw them. I never found the physical therapist because I needed to take time off of work to see them because there was nothing available on the weekend or after I got off of work because it took me an hour to get home from work on the bus. And Mom would sometimes pick me up when she was feeling well enough, but traffic was just as bad. Like it would take her 30 minutes to get to me and then another 30 minutes to get home, even though it was an hour away or a mile away from where I lived. So I'm trying to add up everything. So anyway, I never got my shoulders fixed. And then they fired me November 2015 because I started losing work because I wasn't eating right and not eating right. Started giving me migraines and the shoulder pain never went away. I couldn't draw anymore. I couldn't paint anymore. I still haven't painted since then. Guitar started getting really painful. There's a story about Rain somewhere, how I got Rain. I got him specifically. Smaller body. Anyway, this is getting long. I'm sorry. All that happened, I started my channel. Right after I started my channel. Right after I decided that my music had value and purpose and I should share it. And everything else I, explained earlier, that no matter where you are, skill level wise, equipment level wise, it doesn't matter. Your story and your music, your art, your videos, whatever you want to do, it matters and it should be shared. We can only improve, so I thought it's okay if I have low quality. People will be able to see, the growth and the change, and that's what I had in mind when I started the channel. I thought I would slowly grow my equipment and everything. Then I got fired. Then I tried substitute teaching in 2016, early 2016, after I had some help from some old friends of my sibling. And then that was a nightmare. So because of legislation and how school is in this country, I can't keep my mental health straight while I'm in the school system. I can't work there. I was angry every single day when I got home because I was angry at the school system. I was angry at the teachers who didn't care that were there, and I was angry at the teachers, at the administration, I was angry that the teachers that did care were getting burnt out and used up because of everyone else there. And I knew, sadly, I can't handle it, even though I want to. I can't handle it. And seeing kids going through what I've gone through silently, even as a substitute teacher, and not being able to help them, that was hard. I can't handle it. I can't do it. I can't be a teacher even though I wanted to. So I had to let go of that dream. So that happened. And then my old computer started overheating, so I couldn't keep making videos in general. I spent a year without income at all, looking for another job, because yeah, it took me a year to find a job, and that was a job I just left earlier this year. And my mental health started getting worse and worse and worse. And actually, thinking back now, it might have been everything that triggered me in the school system that started making it really bad. Sorry, I need some water. Hydrate, it's important. I got lost in thought for a moment. So, where was I? Sorry. I didn't think I'd get emotional. Is there a way to pause this? There isn't. Is there? Oh, there is. Okay. Sorry. So, while I was still trying to get a job, and I had a year with no job, I was working really hard to do music, do live gigs and everything. But again, I don't have a license, so I had to rely on friends to get me there. Mom and I weren't on the best terms, since she was probably struggling with anxiety and depression herself. She wasn't really reliable. Like, her mood would change from day to day. So I couldn't trust her enough to help me get to gigs, and I didn't want people triggering her while we were at the gigs, or being mean to her, or the smoke and everything at these bars and whatnot. I didn't want to deal with having to worry about my mom and taking care of her while I was at a gig. And of course she was well enough to stay home by herself, but she still is. But you know, I felt more comfortable, and I wouldn't have to hear about, you know, her opinion of other musicians and stuff. If I went with a friend, because she would probably say, you know, you're much better than so and so, but everyone was clapping for her, probably just because blah 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 or whatever, you know, whatnot. Just stuff that mom says. She doesn't really have a filter with some things like that, because she just grew up in a different time, you know, so I just didn't want to deal with it. And feel worse about anything in general. I don't think I'm gonna find that piece I didn't get earlier. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. It all still feels wet. All still feels wet. Sorry, I'm starting to blank out again because I'm thinking, yeah, I couldn't do live gigs. My friends would flake out on me at the last minute and say, I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling it, but we can do it blah 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 day. And you know, they didn't care if I was tired and needed introvert time. They didn't care when I felt was important to be there for my anxiety's sake and my mental health's sake, so that I could perform well. They just thought it was whatever kind of thing. Mom did make it out to a few gigs that I felt were okay to take her to. But driving has always given her anxiety, so that was a whole other thing to deal with too. So, you know, we had rides everywhere. Oh, and plus, I forgot about this. Like, we didn't even have gas money, so, yeah, that was another thing. Sorry, my brain's probably shut out a lot of this for a long time. A lot of it. 2016, I finally got the job I was at before when I started streaming that a lot of you would probably know about, those of you who watch my streams and know me from Twitch. You know, that's the job I was in then. I found the piece I forgot to do earlier. That's the part that feels wet. Okay. That's what she said, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, the pet place. That's what my therapist calls it now. The pet place. Where I was perpetually hearing about people's sadness, and it was life-giving at the beginning, but again, something I can't handle, and apparently there's a lot I can't handle. And my brain wants to say it's because I'm a piece of crap, you know, but it's just, it's part of my anxiety and part of my trauma and whatnot. So, got that job, still couldn't really stream or make YouTube videos. 2017, I finally got the computer that I used to have, that I tried to start vlogging and stuff on again, but by then I wasn't really what was I gonna say? Sorry, that thing distracted me. yeah, 2017, I wasn't really doing gigs anymore that much because it was such a struggle. And I was tired from work all the time, and it was hard to do it while I was working. It's hard to do anything while I'm working. It's always been that way. When I had my other full-time job, my mental health was a little bit better, but I was constantly tired, and when I would push myself, I felt like crap for weeks after. You know, I was part of this church and we had events and stuff, and it was, I guess, fun at the time, but I was like a zombie for a good time after, a long, long time after. And you know, I've always been an introvert, so I was like, it's just because I'm an introvert. It's not a big deal. I just need time by myself. And I would take that time by myself because I was really isolated at my old job, and no one really cared if I was having suicidal thoughts. No one really knew if I was having suicidal ideation. I didn't talk about that stuff. For the most part, I didn't really realize it, I think. Sorry, I need to stretch again. This is starting to hurt. Yeah, for the most part, I didn't realize it. And it wasn't nearly as bad as it was a year ago. So, sorry, I backtracked again. Yeah, I've never been able to do much of anything while I'm working full time. Because I'm just always tired, and it's only gotten worse since my old job. I would take a week off and feel kind of okay, but ever since I hurt my shoulders in 2015, cleaning is like terrible. It's like it feels like I'm trying to move a mountain. Bathing is like I'm trying to move a mountain. Normal self-care, like what I'm doing now, is physically exhausting and painful. So it's hard for me to deal with. And all that to say, I started streaming 2018. That's where a lot of you met me, streaming. And now that I can finally do vlogs again, the computer I got in 2017 didn't have any memory, so I couldn't work on anything then. Last year? Was that last year? Or was it the year before last? I don't know. I can't remember now. It's 2 years ago. Sorry. 2 years ago, I finally got upgrades. I got the camera that I'm vlogging on right now. I got, and this is all with, I don't remember what I used to pay for all this. Anyway, I got the camera I'm using now. I got my interface that I'm using, and I don't know if it was last year or not. Hold on, give me a moment. Let me look it up. Because now I'm getting all confused on myself. Give me a moment. Amazon. Show me what my purchase history is. Orders. Let's see. Here, 2019. Yeah, that was that. Okay, so July 2019, I got my camera and my interface. December that year, I got Mike Beanie. Hello. That was the year I moved into this apartment. So apartment upgrade. I had an apartment where I could actually see at night. And then I'm trying to look for this one purchase, which is what I'm thinking of. Sorry, give me a moment. Yep. Okay. So a year ago, thanks COVID, sadly, I finally got memory, which is what my old computer had issues with. I couldn't do vlogs or anything like that, music videos, any sort of music at all, because I didn't have memory. I didn't have memory on my... I didn't have storage. I didn't have storage on my old computer. That's a little trooper. He's still alive. But I didn't have storage to make vlogs, to make videos. I couldn't keep them anywhere. I didn't have storage for music. I still had my old hard drive from my first computer when I started this video, when I started this channel. That was still around, and I tried to use it, but I was scared because it's a HD and it had been exposed to heat. I wasn't sure how reliable it was, so I finally got a terabyte of memory. I was finally able to make stuff, and I've been paralyzed ever since to try, because sharing, and some of you know this part, sharing is hard for me. Every time I try to promote my stuff, I get this voice in my head that says I'm wasting people's time and I'm stupid for expecting people to care. I'm selfish for wanting people to care. I'm stupid. I'm worthless. On and on, more self-negative talk. So that's what happens when I put a video out there and I put a link that says, hey, I just made a vlog, blah, 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 talking about this and that. That's what happened when I started this channel. I would fight that feeling, but it got worse and worse. And I wasn't eating. I didn't have a job. I was looking for a job, and I just blamed myself for wanting to do what I thought would help a lot of people, for wanting to make music and make art and make videos and not be tired all the time. And I hated myself for it, because I felt like my family was suffering because I'm a selfish asshole. That's how it felt. Later, after my old job made me have breakdowns weekly, and I started therapy with their help, and then I got a new job working from home, and I thought, now I can finally give time to this channel again, to Twitch, to my art, to my music. I thought, finally. And it's too much. Again. And I have to look for another job. And I'm scared because I feel like the next job, full-time, even if I find it working from home, is going to do too much and too hard. I'm hopeful. I have a video interview next. I'm hopeful that I'll be wrong and that maybe I can hold a full-time job, or at least part-time, if it's not talking about all this stuff that I struggle with. But they don't want to work with me at my current job. I mean, we're trying, my therapist and I are trying to get accommodations, like the ADA, you know, is supposed to protect me and my rights as a disabled person. To be able to work and make a living. I just keep saying, I don't know what you want from me, kind of thing. I don't know what you want us to do is basically the answer I keep getting. And today is May 21st, 2021. I don't know when I'll have this on or up or anything. I don't know when it's gonna go and be edited. I don't know when I'm gonna have energy, but I really hope and promise that I can have it up. On Monday, we'll have episode 9 of Monday Mingle with Rosemary Teal be up. And I think, I don't know, it might be Steve's episode. I don't know. It will be something, but I don't know when this one's going to be on the channel. But I plan to at least record a vlog once a week for you guys. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't make rent this month because I missed a lot of work because it's too much for me. I've had so much anxiety the last 2 weeks that I just kept freezing and unable to keep doing my job, and I've been in fight or flight. For at least a week, or if not more. I don't know if I can pay for my therapy next week. She keeps telling me we'll make it work no matter what. I'm scared to tell her that I need income. Or, you know, I'm scared to tell her I can't afford it. How's my hair look, though? I'm so stupid. So anyway, I wish I could do this full time. And I feel stupid saying that. I feel like a child. I feel like I'm just some sort of beggar or something. Like I'm giving up. Like I'm just a weakling. Because other people can have full-time jobs and other people can do Twitch at the same time and other stuff. But I struggle to keep my house clean when I'm working. I struggle to do a lot of stuff, and when I don't stream, I feel like my life isn't worth living. It's the only thing that makes me feel okay is making music, and The only time I don't feel like I'm wasting time if I make music is if I'm streaming, because then I think there's some small chance that I'm helping someone and some small chance that someone will help me make ends meet. And anyway, I'm sorry, I'm crying. Give me a moment. Okay. No more crying. Yes, I put my hair up. It's in the way. It's slowly falling out. Like the thingy. You'll see. You'll see in a moment. I need to bunny proof real fast. Even though my door's closed, I want to be able to open the door and let her come in. So I was unplugging this thingy. Sorry, I should have done that off of camera. Look at my eyebrows, they're so weird. Anyway, what was I saying? Let me look at my... So, all that to say, I don't know what direction to take my vlogs anymore. I mean, it's sort of still the same journey of coming up from nothing. My equipment's improved. Hopefully my quality's improved at least a tiny bit. My video editing probably hasn't. It probably never will, because I only use one program that's not that great. And well, I'll try to experiment with this one and start some other program kind of thing. And yeah, so I don't know where I'm gonna take this channel now. But I'm glad you're here with me. Thank you for watching me cry, I guess. It's hard for me to show emotions. It's a trigger. But thankfully, you know, it's just a camera, so I know I'm safe. No one's gonna come in and try to hit my mom or me or anything, you know. That person's gone anyway. Yeah, so here we are, and I hope that the whole time you could hear my fan. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I should have shut it off. Sorry about that. I'm sorry there was a fan in your ear the whole time. I still don't know what I'm doing. I should be Sad Bunny right now. I'll explain Sad Bunny on here someday, to my vlog people. But, thank you for listening. I wish you love and peace. And, I hope this story has a happy ending, I guess. Whatever that happy ending might be, wherever I end up going. Going or being or whatever. Let's hope it's good. And thank you so much for being here. And, yeah. Bye.